New Toyota Innova 2.0G. The Toyota Innova has been around for well over a decade in Malaysia, being a replacement for the well-known Duncer. Having undergone facelift upon facelift here, the MPV has always retained that utilitarian look that has served families and the transport industry for many years. However, with the second-generation Innova, Toyota has decided to inject a healthy dose of premiumness into its popular MPV, while giving it a fancy tagline as well, "Prestige Perfected." Mighty words, and we're here to see if the 8-seater can walk the talk. Greeting you first is an all-new design that will make you forget all about the 2014 facelift that was introduced here. Hints of the Hilux can be seen at the front, with the upper section transplanted from the pickup truck, albeit with a tweaked flat grille with an integrated badge. The model you're looking at here is the top-of-the-line 2.0G, which shares its halogen reflector headlamps with the 2.0E, but not its front fog lamps. Unfortunately, we do not get the fancier LED projectors as seen on the Indonesian spec model, nor do we get LED DRLs bulb type used here. Things have also been cleaned up at the rear, with the large chrome element above the number plate being done away with, making room for two-piece tail lights that occupy the new, easy close lift gate. The overall package is certainly more visually appealing than before, even though it may not gel well with all. If the car looks bigger than before, you are absolutely spot on. The new car measures 4,735 mm in length plus 150 mm 1,830 mm in width plus 70 mm and 1,795 mm in height plus 35 mm, rides 24 mm higher at 200 mm but retains its 2,750 mm wheelbase. The increase in length is in the overhangs, with 135 mm being added to the front, and 15 mm at the rear. Accompanying the architecture is an enhanced suspension setup, featuring larger rear shock absorbers and revised damping characteristics in general. Toyota also says it changed the rear bushing structure to allow for a smaller reaction from the shock absorber stroke by up to 84%. Has any of this worked? Well, on the move, the Innova certainly rides a whole lot better than before, while primary ride remained pretty compliant. However, secondary ride suffered from a tad too much rebound, resulting in the pretty floaty feeling at times, but something expected in a vehicle this size. The steering remains the hydraulic type as before, with changes being found on the steering column that now has an expanded range of tilt of 20 mm from 14 mm, as well as telescopic adjustability. All that newfound power is directed to the rear wheels via a new 6-speed toward converter automatic transmission with sequential shifter that replaces the previous car's 4-speed unit. There's a 5-speed manual, but that's only for the 2.0e, which is more aimed at fleet operators, taxi, travel companies, etc. The reasoning for this drive layout, according to Hiroki Nakajima, managing director of Toyota Motor Corporation, is for better drivability, especially when climbing hills. Nakajima explained that in areas like Kotakini Balloon, the RWD approach is a lot more practical. There are minute performance gains thanks to this new combo, with 0 to 50 km/h now 5.68 seconds instead of 5.80 seconds, and 0 to 100 km/h now 16.44 seconds instead of 16.90 seconds, times down by a few hundredths of a second, despite the added weight. However, the new powertrain does get a shorter gear kickdown response time, and enhancements to ensure optimum fuel consumption and low engine noise. As a result, this gives you the time to appreciate the work Toyota has done to make the new cabin unrecognizable from the one found in the outgoing model. The dashboard is entirely new here, and abandons the monotone scheme used in the past. Instead, you get a curvaceous upper deck that peaks above the instrument binnacle, meeting up with new air con vents along the way. While the majority of the dash is devoid of any soft-touched material, there is plenty of elements that add a bit of contrast to proceedings. For instance, you'll find faux wood trim bits running across the dash, including on the Hilux-esque steering wheel, alcantilized materials on the door cards, as well as various trim finished in what can only be described as satin gold. The system itself is a real treat to use, with crisp and clear graphics displayed on a high-definition screen, along with a touch interface that feels tablet-like. The safety nanny means you can't access certain features while the car's moving, so you'll have to tell your passenger not to fiddle with it on your behalf. Drivers will also get to enjoy the new Optitron instrument cluster with its 4.2-inch color TFT LCD display. Not only does it look a bit like Iron Man's Palladium-powered arc reactor, it comes with mini-games like trying to score the highest possible echo points, and the usual driving info. That simplifies loading humans into the third row, who will get to enjoy almost the same generous accommodation as those in the second row. Provided you don't slide the second row seats all the way back, legroom for those at the far back is pretty decent, with a fairly sizable seat base. In total, the Innova offers seating of up to 8 people to 3-3 layout with 3-point seat belts available for all, and they are kept cool thanks to air conditioning for all 3 rows via ceiling-mounted vents, controlled through an automatic climate control on the roof of the second row. 2.0G only. So, is the second-generation Innova the prestigious MPV that Toyota claims it is? Put simply, yes. The new car is a giant leap forward from before, and certainly a wonderful reinvention of the nameplate. At the end of the day, this car brings welcomed new features, and remains significantly more affordable. Prices here are OTR without insurance than the Nissan Serena S Hybrid from REM 143,063 and Magna Giant from REM 145,718, while being comparatively, if not larger, more comfortable and better riding than before. While boasting an interior that screams premium, the overall experience is only hampered by an engine that lacks the punch to get the heavier Innova up to speed quicker. Aside from that, it is definitely an MPV to consider for those in the market for an 8-seater. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.